just crashed. So let me just test that it's working. It is working. It's going to test the divergent. Divergent's working as well. Okay, hey, good morning. Mystery. Who knows? Good morning. I missed the open. Well, I didn't miss the opens as such. I just couldn't trade it. Something went wrong with the software that you use, so I didn't actually finish my my setup. My profits have significantly diminished. Okay, well, let me deal with that in a second. So, very strong open, making up for lost ground yesterday, it seems, and my profits that was at one point $3,000 is now just $1,300. But I think I should be up and running now. Okay, well that sucks. But let's deal with what is. Certainly got a first bar positive in the FTSE. And we got an espresso, which would have triggered around 45, which is about here. And that's currently doing quite all right. So I think I'm going to get rid of my FTSE positions and start afresh. And do the same in the DAX, just close everything. Start afresh. Damn, that sucked, but what can you do? I don't think the theme have changed. But they weren't meant to be swing positions. They were just meant to be positions that I were trading during the day, and then I just kept running them. I'm going to be a buyer of the DAX down here at 45 if it gets there. It went as low as 48. Buying the DAX here around 45. I think I lost the headset here for a second. 1 second. Gonna move the stop loss to break even because I just I got a little technical issue I'm dealing with here, so my focus is a little bit divided. Stop loss to break even. Trade is active. All right, I'm just gonna take profit here and let me deal with my issue. Hey, sorry about that. I am completely unfocused. Um, Sometimes when you work out of an office, you are, how can I put it? You're faced with, are you serious? Now Telegram is kicking in. It's just in Denmark we had this famous. Uh, okay, Telegram is playing up. I know Telegram is playing up because I get these digital noises. I don't know if you can hear it. It goes like this. See if it repeats. No, no, it does. Stop. Bloody hell! Okay, we have this famous astronomer from a long time ago called Tycho Brahe. And he had these days where, let me see what the official, okay, in the folklore of Scandinavia, Tycho Brahe days are days judged by being especially unlucky. It's like, okay. Yes. Good entry. Shitty exit. Sorry, folks. Well, you know what? As entries go, that was a pretty spectacular entry. I think I'd like to cut that one out for the. I bought right there. How's that? For a master entry. Did I get out here? No. Did the office bell ring? Yes. Do you know what it was? I have this this thing that can make sparkling water, and all I kept hearing was this buzzer and nobody answering it, and going, "All right, this is pissing me off." So I went there. There was a delivery uh, a delivery service, and didn't speak a word of Danish, and and going, just holding up these gas canisters. What am I supposed to do? Ah, yes. Anyway, should I say to him, "You just cost me"? Probably a little bit unfair. The the buy entry. play around with the levels here. So we have a clear starting point down here. And we have a top there. And the 50% would have been at 37. So that's not the approach. So we'll just mark that. But if you then look at the start of the trading day, which is here, this is the 9 a.m. I know my PC says 8 a.m., but that's because no matter where I am in the world, I always operate with UK time, because that's how I was trained. So if I started the 8 a.m., then the 50% is 8:51. So let's mark that in. But we still haven't had the explanation. How big was this retracement? Well, we can measure it. I think I just need to get rid of these lines here. Voila. So we can measure the retracement. The retracement was 30 points. Now, let's see if there's other retracements. Voila! How's that for magic? But that is still not the reason why I bought where I bought. So let's get rid of them. No, the reason is actually found in the espresso. Because this is the this is the level of the high before the open. Here at 28. In fact, let me just measure something. Just want to double check something. And I added 17 points to this. So if I add 17 points, which is the number of the espresso. This is Andy's estimate, but hey, they work for me. Let's look at the last retracement here, if we should have been a buyer here. We measure. We should have been a buyer. I was taught this. Would you believe this? I started learning about this 22 years ago. 22 years ago, we traded with this shit. No, it's not shit. It's great. And the proponent of it was I wonder if he's even alive anymore. Bryce Gilmore. I was just trying to find a picture of him. Just gonna find a. Do you know what? I have the old files as well. So this is the kind of stuff that we worked with. And Bryce Gilmore was extremely hot on what we call one-to-one. He was a pretty mean-spirited gentleman, have to be said. He would, we would trade live together, and many evenings I would trade with him, and he would say something like, see if I can do it in an Australian accent with somebody who's drunk. Hey, Tom, did you buy the fucking one-to-one? And I said, no, are you a fucking idiot? There's a one-to-one down here. It's like, and then he would point out that this retracement here and this retracement here was equal, and down here I had to be a buyer. Yeah, so you think that I'm grumpy at times? You should try being trained by Bryce Gilmore. You've no idea how kind I am to you compared to what he was like. So that's a one-to-one right there. That's what he argued. So this is a smaller degree. And this up here related to this down here would then be a larger degree cell. So there you go. I bet you I could still find you know Rose from Al Brooks's price action live trading room? Rose is in the house and she just sent me this. She says, these lines here, she argues that we're going to come back down again. Would you like to hear Rose? Rose is absolutely adamant that nobody wants to hear what she has to say, and I keep saying to her that you should come in and participate like Andy is doing. She said, no one wants to hear from me. I said, Rose, they absolutely do want to hear from you, and I want to prove my point. And she's gonna kill me for doing this, but hey. I've invited Rose to join me from time to time. I think her work is great. Do you agree? shall we have a weekly Rose session? Absolutely yes. She is a million times better than you, Tom. And then this is the second one is no women allowed. So Rose, here we go. You'll see how popular you are. Oh my God, there's 7% that said 4 votes, no women allowed. Somebody said, I argue she's 10 million times better than you. But all right, 1 million's fair. And I'm not even making that up. Look at that. Then there's this one here. I've listened to Al Brooks for 4 months. Rose was the best educating, most active among all the other guys. The best when you do. Oh, that's very kind. We want Rose. She is exceptional. Oh, yeah. Rose, if you think I'm making this up, I'm posting this right now. So there you go. So let's see. So there we go. We have 90% no women allowed. Well, look, I just made that up. But as you can see, Rose, you should definitely join. You are a million times better than me. I'm only doing this because I know she'll be greatly embarrassed by it, and there is nothing that I enjoy more than embarrassing little Rose. There you go. Right. Guess we're waiting for school run, which I think may just have triggered. Yes, it did. School run triggered. Just gonna hold off for a second. I absolutely butchered my exit. Bloody hell, Tom. Just gonna look at something. I have to go on stage in Macau in a month. And I'm furiously practicing trading the Nikkei, but I haven't looked this morning. School run seems to have worked. Why is it so active pre-market? So there's the open. There's school run. Hey Andy, do you know what would be really cool is if we tested if espresso works. I think it might. Then of course there's also the Hang Seng. Wow. Now there's a school run worth talking about. Entry short at 25,372. Right, that puppy. Oh, I should have been in the FTSE. Damn, damn, damn. I guess the silver lining is that I got out of my short positions. All right, so there we go. There's I will close this poll now. Take a screenshot of it and let's get rid of this. How I have completely butched So I think I've been talking for the last 10 minutes. I think I just gave a very long speech that none of you heard a word of. Fucking hell. I'm absolutely Johnny Five Thumbs today. Right. Do you know what pains me the most? What pains me the most is to see a move like this in the FTSE and not be part of it. Then I went on to say that, you know what bothers me even more was that if this low down here at 78, and now I'm just checking that the microphone, I should really have a button somewhere saying you are live, you're not live. If that had gone, say, down to just 74, and then reversed, I would have said, right, we got a fishing technique entry here. This is the lowest bar, and we are closing above that here. So your risk would be, we'll measure that. Your risk would be, say, 15 points, but the fishing technique parameter is that it always goes up to where it came from, which would be, in this case, 25. Do I want to risk 15 to make 25? Well, certainly consider it. But then when the market opened and we just stormed up the page, this is the kind of move that has me going back to the storyboard and going, how could I have traded this differently? Because I missed something here. I definitely missed something. So anyway, I will then approach that from the, if I just clear up my chart a little bit from the research that I'm doing. I would then look at the FTSE and okay, what did I miss here? And I think it's fair to say that the low that you're seeing here, 273, happened overnight. Well, if I'm not mistaken, that is down here. So you see how we took out the lows and then reversed strongly. So I suppose that would open up for what? So anyway, I guess that's just me, how I work. I suppose you're the same. You would want to know why. We've been as high as 360 today. Now let's look at the DAX. I also said that Andy, he is taking over tomorrow, and I am then doing the afternoon. So let's look at the size of the retracement here. Larger. Okay. Larger than the previous one. So Rose has just sent me a message to say, can you please explain the school run to me? Yes, Rose. Absolutely. And I'll go really slow because I know you have limited intellectual capacity. No, she's not responding to my insults. That's a shame. But can you at least, if I'm doing this, Rose, are you watching? I think she's gone back to sleep. No, she's not. She just wrote back to me, "Fuck you, Dane." Yeah, fair enough. I deserve that. So Rose, this is for you. And anybody else, of course. My research suggests that the market will be dominated by a certain kind of activity in the early going. And that activity is pent up reflections from the overnight market, brokers, market makers having to do something early in the morning. And so I came up with the idea that you bracket the second 15-minute candle. And at the time when I developed that, it always took place whilst I took my children to school. So I decided to call it the school run approach. Now, not that I will endorse you trading whilst stuck in traffic in Copenhagen or anywhere else in the world for that matter, but that's why it was called school run. It's called school run because, at least for me, it took place whilst transporting the damn children to school. And it's a breakout strategy. And it means you buy above and you sell short below. Fine. But then, as I started sharing this with the world, obviously, like you would expect, from any strategy, there's good times and there's bad times. And so I developed a new approach which was based upon the combination of candles and the length of the candles. So for example here, you'll notice that the second bar is an inside bar. And so the research then began to center around on inside bars. When the second bar is an inside bar, does it make sense to trade it as an anti? And what I mean by an anti, I'm going to make this as visible as possible. So this is this bar here is the school run bar, the second 15-minute bar. And so then the hypothesis began to center around, do you sell short down here at 24,917, or do you buy? Well, why would you entertain doing the opposite, what we call the anti? Well, because the second bar is an inside bar. And thus began that never ending quest of, perfecting your craft, essentially. Yeah, that's it. Perfecting the craft. Relentless. Kobe Bryant style. Just keep pushing forward. I hope that was at least in partial enlightening. I'm still working on a document illustrating all of this. Document writing is fine, but I do make my money from trading the markets, and sometimes the altruism behind my channel takes over, and I remind myself, yeah, I do also have bills to pay. So it was driven by let me show you. It was driven by the research that I do on, because today, so yesterday was Wednesday, and as you remember, I was very negative, the DAX right out of the gate. The reason why I was so negative right out of the gate was because we had opened gap up by more than 0.5% on Tuesday. And then we had rallied strongly, very strongly, but we had closed more than 0.5% down. So I asked my software, what I have developed with the help of a bloody genius mind, I should say, who prefers to remain anonymous. But I know you're listening in, mate, and you are amazing. I found all the dates where this particular pattern went through, where it happened. Gap up, that's here, the market had closed there, and then a big push higher by more than 0.5%, and then at least 0.5% movement off. And so I think I found 41 examples of that. And what I then did, credit to me, is I went through every single one of these dates and looked at, in the historical database, what happened the following day. And the following day statistically showed a propensity to be negative. And it also showed a propensity for being a trend day. Right, so Rose has shown me something here, and feels like this is getting into. Why aren't you just fucking joining me here, Rose? Rather than sending me stuff. So Rose has sent me this, and she says, right, says, fuck you, Dane. I have 2 healthy brain cells, and they've worked fine. Okay, that was the earlier insult. Your people know I call that mother bar, right? I see. You're talking about in reference to this being an inside bar. Okay. The bar that is a breakout bar where there is one under. Okay, so this is, let's imagine it's this one here. Yeah. Okay. Is where I would sell below and trail the stop up until I get in short trade. Okay, so Rose, what's the point of the box number 2? You need to join us, Rose, so you can explain this to us simpletons, because we just trade this either as a breakout short, or we trade it as an anti, betting it's going to go back into the range. Anyway, I guess we'll get the answer to that question at some point when oh, she's typing. It is an incredible piece of software, George. It really is. All right. So Rose says 2 is where I would trade my trail my sell stop and enter. Ah, so you would observe you'd observe the breakdown, and then you would have an order to sell short here. The market will go against you, fine, and then it goes with you, fine, something like that. 1 is where I put my sell stop and trail up to 2. Yeah, Rose, that actually makes no fucking sense at all. So you're gonna have to come in here and explain it. I think I would keep an eye on this particular level here, the 50%. And not only that, I may just do a recalculation of that and consider ignoring the spike and just taking it from the bar close, which would be this area here. These are the 2 levels that I would most certainly keep an eye on. Yeah. I think I will do some preparation for the US session. All I have to show for today with you is a long at 47, which should have been 45. So there you go. Profitable? Yes. Missed most of it? Yes. I blame the gas canister guy. No, I don't. I blame myself. I was too easily distracted. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a somewhat of a chaotic session. First, I couldn't get OBS to work, and then I got distracted. I apologize. It was really unprofessional. I hope you have a wonderful morning, and I will look forward to seeing you later. I have just a stupid little Dow marker on, which I should get rid of, but I'll leave it for now. And, well, the account. I recovered not quite all that was lost, but I'm working on it. You take care of yourself. Exactly, Susan. That is what happens when you are distracted by girls. Except Rose isn't a girl. She's an annoying menace that is barking in your ear, telling you what to do. I hope she's listening to that. Take care of yourself, everybody, and I will do better in the US session. Bye-bye for now.